guess the first thing I'd want to know is what's your initial impression been like? You've been on a camp, I believe, with the young people already?
Yes, last week a group of young adults with Phil and Jill came down to Granville and spent a couple of days down there at Granville Lodge. My first impressions of the young people here is that I actually think they're really quite a spiritual group of people. It might be an interesting word to use, but if you think of spiritual in the way of searching for meaning and purpose in one's life, then these young people are certainly engaging with the William Angliss and connections here in searching for meaning making and what's my purpose in life here. So, and all, I mean, they've all been very accommodating, very open.
Often it's seen that the real jewel in the crown of being a minister is to get a placement in a nice church in a good suburb where we got lots of people sitting around on pews, very active week in, week out. Why are you here rather than that model? What was it that has infused you to be here doing what you're doing?
Well, if we're talking church then, from a theological point of view, I can only say it's because there exists inside me such a strong sense of God's call to this sort of ministry. If I have a look at my history, then I can see why God's probably called me to this place and time. 12 years in the hospitality industry, everything from washing dishes up to managing resorts and cooking and everything in between. Worked in areas with alcohol and other drugs, coordinated a drug clinic in St Kilda, and also worked in the area of psych and child protection, children's safe houses and stuff. So all those coming together for me come together in this place. It's an area working with youth who, through no fault of their own, might be disconnected and find themselves on the margins of society. So I find, for me, this is home for me. This environment is a very comfortable place to be around. Part of my history is that my life hasn't been untouched by a lot of the circumstances with which the young people are now dealing with. So I can connect on also a professional level, trained professional level, but also in person.
One of the uniquenesses of Michael's role is that he is involved in training, which is something we believe is very important here because we're into accredited training and the Connections program is just that. So Michael will be working on, when we say working on their hearts and minds, he's actually teaching them about personal effectiveness, teamwork, communication, setting pathways for themselves. And Jill and I and Phil and Neil, we reinforce those pathways with Michael, with the young people. The kids that we work with generally have had a bad experience at school. It's the number one requirement, and they're not at school. And they should be in school because of their age, particularly kids under 16 who are required by law to be in school. 3 or 4 young people who need more training than others, and by that I mean cookery training, but also they need more life skills training, and we're about to put some effort into that group as a group of 4, and in part their parents will be involved in the process. One family, particularly, their young fellow has survived a custodial sentence, I would suggest, in part to the words, the work that we've done here. His mum believes, only here for a short time, but enough to satisfy the judge that he should get probation rather than custody. When most young people come here, 99% of them, we ask them the question, what do you want to do? And they say, don't know. So when you establish their backgrounds, you can see why they have that conclusion. So our work is really, for me, vested in a couple of words, which really sounds like restoration of aspiration. And I believe these young people have once aspired for something, and our job is to assist them to secure that again.
My aspirations would be three things for them, and that's developing an ability to search for meaning and purpose in these young people's lives. The ability to accept the invitation of the joy and wonder of life to freedom and responsibility. And if we can go some way to helping these young people learning to live life in love's vulnerability, then I'd be pretty happy at the end of the day. I think if we can at least, and there's no need to have answers to those questions, but if those questions are posed through what we do and they begin to bubble away, and at some future time that helps to guide those young people in their life, that would be my aspirations.